Hey everyone, it's Mike COOCH. Hey, I wanted to make sure that you know how we go about setting up our initial ad campaigns inside of Facebook in terms of, choosing audience size and objective and bidding and budget and all that type of stuff. Those are questions that I often get asked a lot by people that are relatively new to Facebook advertising. So what you see here, this is a traffic tornado spreadsheet. And this you will find in our Facebook advertising training. And the traffic tornado is essentially, I know it's a silly name. It's just something that we actually kind of named jokingly, just because there is this kind of cyclical nature to this process that we follow to get traffic on Facebook. And you'll hear more about that in the traffic tornado training if you go check that out. But what this spreadsheet is essentially the step-by-step of how we scale our Facebook ad campaigns, starting from a very initial ad all the way up to scaling up to doing thousands of dollars a day in sales and dealing with all the different lookalike audiences and all that good stuff. So if you go back here to phase 1 here, you'll see this is where we're at in getting new campaigns going. And some of this, you have to use your judgment a little bit because you're dealing with local markets, and so you're dealing with smaller audience sizes. For instance, none of the audiences that I'm going after in Denver, Colorado are this size. But if I was going after a nationwide audience and I was selling something that I could deliver nationwide, e-commerce product or an information product, then I'd be going for these larger audiences. Since I'm just selling in Denver, I'm just kind of making do with the whatever audience size is actually there. But similar here, we'll do 2 to 4 high-level interests, 2 to 4 buyer targets. So if there's something that indicates that this would be a buyer of whatever it is that we're selling, based on their past history, where they've shopped before, things like that, then we'll use those targets if we can. We typically start with just a good old link ad, and we will start with desktop and mobile newsfeed combined. Oftentimes, there is theory out there that you will get better costs and better results if you combine desktop and mobile on Facebook, at least to start. That has been not consistent for me. I've seen it go both ways, and usually in my campaigns ultimately I end up with these separated, but I do oftentimes, even if for no other reason than simplicity, I will start with both of these combined, just to get a little bit of history going on the ad. I do website conversions to start here. In this case, we're trying to generate leads, so that is a conversion. So I will start with a website conversion ad. I'll optimize for conversions, charge for impressions. Again, those are just default settings if you choose website conversions in Facebook. I'll budget $5 to $10 per 100,000 people targeted. And on local, sometimes I will skew that a little bit high. I have small audiences and I want to make sure and spend at least a little bit of money and get my ads out there. So sometimes I'll make that $15 per 100,000, maybe even $20 per 100,000 targeted. Pixels, I'll make sure that I have tracking set up for view content as well as lead. We're not doing add to cart or purchase here because we're not selling anything, but view content and lead, I'll make sure I have pixels set up for both of those. And then I create custom audiences for all visitors and leads. Again, no add to cart or buyer since we're not doing e-commerce here. And I don't worry about trying to create any lookalike audiences yet because I have not gathered, my initial audience at all. So once we have some history on the account, we can look at potentially creating lookalike audiences. So phase 1, though, this is exactly what we're doing, and you'll see as we scale out into multiple phases, we'll start adding things like video ads and maybe testing different audiences and things like that. But for the most part, this is going to be pretty darn simple campaigns because we're dealing with pretty small audiences, and so we're gonna focus on the fundamentals here. and this phase one is exactly how we get our campaigns started. So you can just go through the spreadsheet and follow the structure that we're doing here to launch your campaigns as well.